Hey, Stephen, and hey, everybody. I am just going to record a few thoughts for you around this post that you've given me permission to kind of look at, Stephen. I really appreciate that. And just so you know, kind of the vantage point from which I'm looking at this, I see a lot of folks in print, in mail, trying to generate leads and drive awareness for their business, just like anybody who's in sales or marketing. And so when I look at a post like this, there's a couple things that come to mind. I want to call those to your attention, just see if they'd be helpful to you. The other thing I want to do is involve others in the discussion. Because there's multiple points of view on some of the things I'm going to say, and it'd be great to hear from others of you as we look at this post that's here on the screen from Stephen. So the first thing is, and you already attended to this, Stephen, your picture previously was a logo for your company, which is cool for your company. But typically, what we have found is engagement goes up if you have a personal picture, which is what you do. So that's great. The next thing that I see, your your headline here. This is the headline in your profile. I would try to rewrite that in a way where the benefit to me as the reader or your possible customer, where that is clear, as opposed to what your title is, which is important to you, I'm sure. Generally, to me, the reader, it's less important. So what we have found is that as much as possible, that headline should be focused on the viewer in terms of the benefit and the outcome you deliver for them. I'll put a template down in the comments, one little kind of template that you can use to not only get the right person's attention, but also to show up in searches. Okay, so I would suggest changing that. When you look at your profile here, you can see that Stephen, you've got 244 connections, which shows me you're kind of starting out here on LinkedIn. That's fantastic. Um, the thing that I would say is that as I look at let's take a look here. As I look at your posts, what I see as I look through your posts, a couple of things. One is they're all kind of, hey, do business with me, right? Some of them are articles like this one, but most of them that I've seen, call us if you need print. This is cool. This is not necessarily just about print. That's good. Give us a call here. So a lot of them, not all of them, Stephen, that's good, but a lot of them are kind of like, hey, call me if you want to do business. And what I would suggest you consider there is think about sharing stories about some of your customers, maybe videos of how you have helped customers. I don't know if your company has anything like that. It would be good to alter it up every now and again and do some videos yourself. Maybe show some of the equipment and kind of what the kind of benefit your customers would get from that equipment. Social proof is always good. Little testimonials, what people have said about the things that you have done or that your company's done. And then maybe like one out of four times, one out of five times, do kind of the overt call to action. If you need something like this, call me or call us. So I would suggest you just vary that up a little bit. See if you can get your engagement to go up. See if you can get your follower number to go up by varying the content and trying to provide some value instead of just saying, hey, give us a call if you want print. The other thing I notice here is that this here is not linked to your company. Um, when I click on, let's see, I think I click here, I notice that your company is listed on LinkedIn here. If I click on that, so it means that when you connected your profile to your current employer to print and mail communications, um, I don't think you picked the right one. So see if you can pick this. And then I noticed that actually it says there's no posts here. They may show up in a second, but there aren't too many posts here on your company's page. Maybe you can offer to take that over for them. I'm sure they'd appreciate that because you need to get some at least a few things here on that page. So that would be another suggestion. Try to link your profile to your actual company. I'm looking at my notes up here. Um, and let's see what else I can see here. The other thing that I would say just quickly on your profile is try to get some recommendations. Ask for folks to recommend you so that you have some more social proof on your page. That would be fantastic. And then let's go back to your post and do a couple of more things here. So when I look at your posts, and you'll notice I've been engaging Stephen with your posts quite a bit because I'm trying to give you some encouragement. One thing is look at this hashtag here, print and mail. I think you probably just made that one up, right? Actually, Looks like you've done it a couple of times. That's cool. But there's nobody following this hashtag, okay? So as far as I would see it here, there's nothing that you're really gaining by doing that. Unlike some of the other social networks where people make up hashtags, I don't know, hashtag adulting is fun or something, whatever they make up. This has a real purpose. And so you want to find hashtags that have a following behind them. Let me see about this one here. One source solution has one follower. So again, that's not gaining you any traction. What you want to do is come up here to the search and do something like, I don't know, I'm just going to say direct mail, right? I know that one has some traction behind it. Again, not a lot of people, but at least 2,156. Okay. Actually, there's a post from one of our clients mentioning me, which is nice. So you want to go find a series of hashtags. What I do is I put them in a Google Sheet, all the hashtags as I uncover them. We write down then in another column the number of followers, and then we kind of sort it by follower account so that when you're doing these hashtags, which are important, you're actually gaining visibility. These aren't really doing anything for you here, at least from my perspective. The other thing that I noticed, let me go to some of your posts. Um, and I think this is a little controversial. We'll see what the others say when they see this. But when I go to your posts here, I recall you had one that had like 5 engagements. Yeah, so this is good. You're finding articles from third-party sources, which is good. But the thing that I notice is there's no comments, right? You have 5 people who have liked it, no comments. What I would suggest you do, Stephen, as you're getting started here, after you do your post, go in and like it, like your own post, and then drop a comment. Or say something up here that draws the person down to the first comment, which is something that you've written. Okay. The other thing, and this may be a little controversial for some people, but what I would do, this is social media, right? It's a social experience. What I would do, look, you got Deb Miller, she's from USPS. You've got some interesting people here. I don't know if any of these are prospective clients of yours. But what I would do is I would start to engage. Like, let's say Deb Miller here, right? I would go here to the comment. I would say at Deb Miller. Let's see if I can actually pull her up here. Yeah, here she is. Deb, um, this is an interesting view on 2020. Do you agree? Whoops, I can't type. Do you agree that DM plus digital is the way to go? Curious as to your thoughts. Something like that, right? And then go in and also like your comment. The reason you want to do this, from my perspective, at least it's where you stand right now, is that what I have found is that a lot of people are, I don't want to say shy, but they're not that engaged, especially with the small number of people that you have. So what you need to do is you need to kind of draw people out. And so when you see interesting people in your comments, if you're not connected to them, I would connect with them. If they're relatively inside of your target, which we should talk about separately, but if they're relatively targeted for you, engage them the way I did. I can't tell you how many times I've seen leads generated by that technique where the person that's being tagged and engaged says, you know what? It's interesting that you mentioned it. I've actually been following you for some time, and I think that we should talk. And that opens the door for a conversation on the phone or for a meeting at a trade show or whatever the case may be. So, Stephen, why don't you give that a shot and see how that works for you? And you know what? Let's stop there. I've thrown out a number of things at you. I want to know, Stephen, what do you think? What else can I do to help? And also for the rest of you who are watching this, let's have a little dialogue back and forth. What do you disagree with that I said? What other input would you have for Stephen? And let's help him really make 2020 the year where his follower count grows, his influence on social grows, and he's helping people. And by doing so, he's actually driving sales and helping himself as well. So, Stephen, hope that's been helpful to you. Let me know in the comments, man, and keep it up. Good work.